Hi everyone, this is Gail with Pretty Presets, and today I just wanted to go over how to customize the presets in the Illuminate collection. Now, the presets in the Illuminate collection are all created using radial gradients or masks. And the steps that we follow to customize the presets in the Illuminate collection can also be used to customize the presets in our other collection that uses radial gradients as well, and that's the Winter Wonderland collection. So these steps are going to be very similar. Obviously, the presets are going to look a little different and have a different purpose, but the steps for customizing them are very much the same. So the first thing that I want to do is to choose a preset that I want to apply to this image. And the best way to choose a preset to apply is just to come over here to your presets. I opened up the Pretty Illuminate horizontal presets, and then you can just hover over them to choose the one that you want to apply. And I've already kind of looked over these, and the one that I am going to apply here to customize is this first one. It's called Boca Flare 1 Left. And once I've chosen which one I want to apply, then I'm going to click on it, and it's going to apply to my image. Then I need to come over here to the right side of the Develop module to the tool panel that's in between the basic panel and the histogram. And I'm going to click on the far right icon that's a circle with a dotted outline, and that is my masks tool. And because this already has applied some masks to my image, you're going to see that when I click on that, a whole bunch of layers are going to open here in the masks panel, and also you're going to see a lot of pins over here showing you where those masks have been applied. So the first thing that you want to understand is that you can select any of these by just simply clicking on it, and that's going to select the mask or the radial gradient that you want to adjust, or you can click on them over here in this masks panel. And it's a little bit hard to tell, but I can click on any of these, and then over here you'll see that it becomes highlighted, and I can now make all the adjustments that I need to make. So those are two different ways that you can select the masks to adjust them. And depending on the preset, one of these might be easier to use than the other. So just be aware of that. Understand that there are multiple ways to choose these and to adjust them. Once it's clicked, the little icon is going to change to a circle with like a black dot in the center, and that will let you know that it's selected. These other pins are not selected because they don't have the circle with the black dot in the middle. So that's how you know. I have my pins set to always show down here. You can choose if you want them to auto show, and that means that they won't show unless I'm hovering with my cursor over my image. When I stop hovering over my image, then those pins disappear. For the purpose of this, I've chosen to show them always, just so we can see them and not get them lost. So the first thing you want to know is that once you have something highlighted, you can just hover over it and watch for the hand to appear, and you can just move it wherever you want. So I'm taking some of these radial gradients down here, and I'm just going to move them because I don't want them quite to filter over her this far. So I'm just going to move them up here. Oh, whoops, that did not move. One thing that's tricky, and this brings up another thing that I wanted to tell you, is that sometimes the pins are so small that they're hard to move. So if you just click Command or Control plus and zoom in on your image, that will make the pins a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to move and adjust. And then I can just come up over here, and you can see now that I can see them a little bit better, and I can click and move them where I want. So I'm just kind of randomly pushing these a little bit closer together, I guess. And then you can use Command or Control minus to zoom back out, or you can come up here and choose, click on fit, and that will fit it in your screen. And I think that's a little bit better. I still might move these just slightly. So now that we've got these adjusted how we want them, one other thing that I'm going to do to adjust this preset is to just maybe change how large this flare is up here in the corner. And so I'm going to click on this up here in the corner, and I'm going to click and drag it over just slightly. And then these little dots that are at the 12, 3, 6, 9 position of the radial gradient allow me to change the size and shape of my radial gradient. And I'm just going to do that to make this slightly bigger. Awesome, perfect. Now, one of the other ways that I could customize these is to change the color slightly. So let's just, once I click on one of these radial gradients, you can see that there are settings over here that apply, and based on these settings, that's going to determine how it shows on my image. So let's say I wanted this to show just a little more red or pink. I could come over here and adjust the tint, and as I adjust the tint, that's going to adjust the color slightly, and maybe I can bring down the warmth just a little bit. Another place that you can adjust it, the color, is down here in this color. So here's this word color, and right next to it there's this box, and you can come over here and choose maybe a slightly different color, and that's going to adjust it as well. So you can see that I've made this one just a little bit more pink as opposed to green or yellow. And I don't always change them, but in this image I think that there's a lot more greens and pinks, so it's kind of fun to change a few of those. One last thing that you might want to know in order to customize these is that you can just simply delete any that you don't want. So let's say I didn't want this last little pin down here. I could just highlight it, and once it's highlighted, I can just tap the delete key, and that little cloud and burst of cloud will show that it's disappearing and it's gone. If for some reason your pins are not showing at all, you can always come down here and adjust how they're showing. One thing that you may have done is if you have tapped the H key, that will make all of your pins disappear, and that changes this to never. If I type H, they'll reappear, and now it's set back to auto. So the last thing I want to show you is the movable sunglasses that are in this collection as well. So I'm going to hop over to a different image. Hopefully that will pop up. There we go. I really love the movable sunglasses, and I use them often in my images. You can apply them in a couple of different ways. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you how to apply them as a preset. And I'm going to click on this pink cream. Pink cream is one of my most favorite ones. And you can see that that applies a mask over here in the masks panel, and I can click on this directly, or I can click on this. Either way, I'm going to highlight it. And obviously for this image, I don't want it directly over her face, so I'm going to look for the hand to appear when I'm hovering over this circle, and I'm just going to move this over here to the right side. And I think I'm actually going to change the shape slightly. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller maybe, and then maybe readjust it a little bit more over my subject. There we go, perfect. These look really good when your subject was shot with lighting that's coming from behind. That's where it will look most natural, obviously, or where there has been some sunlight coming in from above them. That's another time when this can look really natural. And I just love how these look. Now the other way I can apply these, and I'm just going to tap delete for ease to remove this, but you can also click on, oh, I've already applied a mask, so let's just go over here. I'm going to click on the masks icon again, and I'm going to choose the brush. And these also come as brushes, and I've installed these. And I can come down here and I can choose that same pink cream. And here in the brushes, there are a lot more options. So if something's not working over here in the presets, then you can just choose it as a brush. And then I can come over to my image and apply it this way. And I feel like these are, number one, just a little more subtle. They give you more options to adjust them. But I still really love how they look. I'm going to increase the exposure on this one just slightly. So it's a little more subtle maybe than the other one. But still really pretty on my image, and just adds a little extra bit of interest to my portrait. I hope that these tips have helped you feel like you are more comfortable using and customizing the Illuminate presets. And frankly, any of the presets that we have that use gradients, radial gradients in them. Have a wonderful day.